Alright guys, on today's video we're just going to kind of go through some of the lighting changes that I've done to the truck. They've upgraded the factory halogens to HIDs, done the fog lights as LEDs, and did the reverse lamps as LEDs, and the third brake light LEDs also. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it. We'll go ahead and show you a wiring diagram on paper of the LED, or not the LEDs, but the HIDs themselves. It's really pretty simple. The diagram looks a little complicated, but it's really pretty easy. Anybody can do a set of these and make them work just fine. And we'll go ahead and jump over to that, and then we'll jump into the LED portion of the changes that we've done. Alright guys, so here's the wiring diagram I've gotten off the Google that we're going to kind of go through just as an example of what's on the truck, and then hopefully we'll go over to the truck and try to show you in person what it looks like. Some type of people are just a little more visual, and then some people want to learn off of a diagram like this. So this is your basic diagram for a HID headlight setup with a capacitor and a wiring harness. So you can buy a set of HIDs. It's going to come with your bulbs, your ballast, and you can plug them straight into the truck. The problem with that is HIDs draw so much power off the stock system. You really should be running them off a wiring harness straight to the battery, and then using the relay to pull the signal from the truck to ignite the ballast, which then fires the bulb. Then becomes the problem with at least these trucks here, is you have a system that is a pulse signal running through the truck. The ballasts don't like that pulsated signal. So you're going to have to add a capacitor to it so that it will take and function properly and not cause one of the HIDs to turn off while you're driving or anything like that. Alright, so the best way to keep the headlight from turning off, the best way to think about the capacitor itself is going to be a pulsated signal. So you've got a pulsated electrical signal coming through the wiring harness of the truck itself. So what the capacitor does is it will charge up when it gets its pulsated signal up here. When the truck gives it power, that capacitor is going to charge up, and then it will decharge. So as soon as the voltage will go down here, the capacitor will keep the charge and basically bridge this gap in here to give you a nice even signal of power. So that's what will keep, if you're having problems with your HIDs not staying on while you're driving, you need a capacitor. That's what's happening. Your signal is going up and down like this, and you're losing power in basically what would be the valley of the signal, and the ballast is shutting the bulb off because it doesn't have enough juice. So adding those capacitors, it will bridge the gap between essentially the little mountains here and keep your power going to your bulb, and that should eliminate your problem. Then with that added draw, you're going to go back to the wiring harness. So since we covered that, we'll kind of go through this wiring diagram just kind of quickly. Hopefully this is in frame enough for you guys where you can take and pause the video or screenshot or whatever and use this. So the first thing with the wiring harness is you're going to hook to the battery. There's going to have a fuse to that, and then you're going to have a simple relay here. It's a little four-way relay. I think they call them like an 87A or an 87T relay. They're very simple. They've got a ground off them, and they've got the input, and then they're going to have the two power outs to what would be your ballast. So the first thing you're going to do from there is you're going to come out, and you're going to come over down to this plug. You're going to plug into your capacitor. They call it an anti-flicker capacitor on Amazon or anything like that. And then you're going to plug that back in to the standard plug that's on your headlight that you would unplug your bulb from. From there, on the end of the relay, you're going to take and plug your first ballast in, and then from there, whatever proprietary plugs are on the HID set that you bought, the ballast is going to plug to the bulb, vice versa. These are all pretty simple. They're all pretty plug and play when you get them. So that's pretty simple on that side. When you do the relay, you're going to run this plug over to whichever side, left or right, you know, side of your vehicle, and that plug is going to have a ground wire. You're going to ground that to the frame. You can run it back to the battery if you want to. You're going to ground it there. So you don't need the factory harness on one side with the wiring harness itself. And then it's back to that wiring harness itself from the relay, plugs into the ballast. The ballast runs out to the bulb, and the bulb is in the headlight housing. So we'll go ahead and move over to underneath the hood of the truck and try to show you the best I can. At least on this truck, you do have to do some modification to the headlight housing as far as drilling a hole and sealing it back up, just because of the way GM designed these. So we'll go over back underneath the hood of the truck, get some light in there, and let you guys take a look at it installed. I had these on before I started doing these YouTube videos, so we'll do the best we can with the diagrams and what we can see underneath the truck. Alright guys, so we're under the driver's side portion of the hood here. And you can see that white silicone there on the back of the headlight housing with the red and the black wire going in. That's where you're going to have to modify that cap that is holding the headlights in. That's just a cap there that you can just pop off. You do have to drill a hole in it, and then the HID kits come with a little rubber grommet, but I added a little silicone to it just to make sure that we didn't have any sort of water issue or anything like that, fogging up the headlights or anything like that. I didn't want any of that going on. And then over here to the right here is where we hooked the positive portion of that wiring harness, ran it up here and underneath the radiator shroud over to the passenger side portion. You can see right here is the relay is zip tied, and then you've got the ballast and then another connector connection point that's between the ballast and the HID bulbs there. So it's really pretty simple, just kind of time consuming, and especially with these factory GM headlights, the HID over the stock halogen is a great improvement. So that's kind of the best view that we're going to be able to show you from here without showing you a full install type video. But if you guys kind of look at the wiring diagram, you'll be able to kind of form your own little pathways and whatnot to get yourself some HIDs installed. Drilling a hole in that thing there is really not too hard, and don't really worry about that. As long as you seal it back up, I've had zero water issue, zero fogging of headlights or anything like that. So just to kind of give you that little bit of peace of mind. So here is the best shot I can get of the LED bulb itself without taking it out of there. I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of looks like it's got a little projector housing there on the front, and then on four sides of that thing there's also a little LED on either side that bounces off into the reflector housing itself. And then obviously the one that fires straight forward. So so far I've had great luck. These are just the little cheapies off of Amazon, and I seriously think they were less than like $10. So definitely a great upgrade over the factory little yellow ones that were in there. Plus it makes it match over to the low beams in the projector housings with the 5K HIDs. They match just about perfect in color into the eye. So, and they're not blue, they're nice and white. So we'll go ahead and jump back over to the back of the truck and show you guys the LED reverse lights. And alright guys, we're here at the back of the truck. Before I go ahead and fire these LEDs up, I do want to make a note of one thing. You can see the little lines here in the clear portion of the reflector. When you have the standard little halogen bulb in there, you don't see those lines, but as soon as you put that LED in there, it's so much brighter than the factory halogen bulb that was in there. Those lines do show up. So just as a side note, they don't bother me, but just to let anybody know that, you know, that may be a con for you. These bulbs that are in there are just like the little flat style of LED with the little prong connectors on the back. They plug right into the factory housing, just like the fog lights. No issues. The ones that are for back here also fit the third brake light. So you need a total of 4. There's 2 in the third brake light and 1 on either side of your truck for your reverse lights. These are a great addition if you've got tinted windows and you use the LED lights that are in the 15.5 and newer tow mirrors, the camper mirrors that they call them. They match perfectly, and spread a whole lot more light. So I'll go ahead and fire this thing up. It's probably going to blind the camera, but as you can see, that's pretty darn bright. And then I'll see if I can't zoom in on the wall back here and show you guys what I'm talking about with the lines. So, alright guys, we're going to try to show you the lines that little bulb kind of creates. Mind my filthy workbench and toolbox. Please ignore that. As you see all the lines there on the wall? Those are the lines that are in the taillight housing itself. So you don't notice it when you're looking through a mirror, but when you back up close to a wall like this or something, you definitely can see it backing up to a wall or anything like that. So just wanted to kind of make that note and show you guys. Alright guys, that's going to wrap this one up. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. I hope you guys are still enjoying some of the other content, other videos and stuff. This is probably going to be a little quick one, you know, just wanted to go over. I've been getting a lot of questions about the HIDs and the lighting setup like that, so I figured it'd be easier to make a video than it would be to just comment back to everybody. If you guys would like and share the videos, subscribe, you know, pass it on to a friend, I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. You know, if you want to check out the Instagram page, I'll link it in the description, and jump on over there. I try to post on that, you know, as often as I can. I try to do 3 or 4 times a week. Try to do something oriented with the truck or whatever. So if you guys can go ahead and hook me up and help me out like that, I would greatly appreciate it. So stay tuned for the next one, guys, and we'll keep this content rolling.